Welcome back to another episode of Your Daily Real Estate. I'm Tristan. This episode is brought to you by BrilliantTribe.com. That's our coaching platform. We do group coaching, one-on-ones. We help you build a community, social media marketing. If you're a startup, we help you with that as well. We've helped out a lot of different companies and agents. Now, these episodes are meant to be about 5 minutes long, meant to give you actionable steps or motivate you to get you going in the right direction. My name's Tristan. Let's do this. So in Lab Coat Agents, we've got about 165,000 agents. And I posted a question just a few minutes ago because I'm noticing that some agents are still, and I think will always, have a challenge in tracking things and scheduling what they need to, focusing on their priorities. I mean, we've had a couple of episodes here about priorities. The question that I asked is this. I said, question for you. How do you keep track of everything that you need to do daily? Now, you better believe I got a whole mess load of answers, and from funny answers to some serious ones. Here are a few, and then I want to tell you what you should be doing when it comes to focusing on what you need to track and how. But I've got some that said my calendar and a whiteboard. Okay, not bad. An obsessively color-coded Google Calendar with lots of reminders set. LOL. I kind of like that. In fact, I would love to see it. And some people are like, yeah, show us. We'd love to see it too. Another one, it usually comes to me between 2:30 a.m. and 3 a.m. LOL. Which, by the way, is not uncommon for a lot of agents. Here's another one. That's good. This one's good. Jason Northcutt said, write it all down. And then he shows a bullet journal. And I mean, that's what we do in essence. We have it digitally and we have it on a calendar. The point is everyone is all over the place. And you have two options. Here's what it comes down to. You can do digitally or you can write it down on some type of a physical calendar. We use the full focus planner. That's the one I use. I use the full version. And then I also have the team put it up digitally so that my whole team knows what I'm doing the whole day, where are our meetings, and so forth. So I have that. I have the ability to be able to do that in both. But for me personally, where I write everything down, literally every little thing, is my calendar, my written calendar. And here's where I'm going to tell you. You need to do one or the other. Where do you gravitate to? Do you gravitate to putting everything on your phone or your computer because you're in front of a computer all day, or your iPad, or something digitally? I know a great friend of mine who has their calendar, their digital calendar, color-coded, and every color means something different. Like blue is meetings, green are things that are just repetitive daily, like working out. Yellow are things that is a personal thing. All of colors mean something different. You could do that. And then on the side, Google also allows you to have tasks. So those are things that you need to get done. And then the way that he does it, because I think it's a way awesome way of doing it, is those tasks, in order for them to get done, he puts them in, he drags them into the actual calendar. He drags it in and says, okay, this is going to have a time slot. And he has empty slots just for that. So now that's one way. Obviously, you can get further, you can go deeper, be amazing. For me, I take Sundays and I outline my whole written calendar based on what I know we need to do. And some of the things that we have for me, we already have outlined a month and a half, 2 months out, because I've got a team. So they put this on a digital calendar for me. So it's very easy. But so I don't get lost with my priorities, I start with very simple things. I say, well, what are my priorities? What do I need to get done this week that I know are the most important things ever? And I always start with the same things. It's 3 things. And then I'll leave you with this. All right. Pay attention. Write these down. Number 1, I always look at it as self. where am I taking care of myself? Because I know if I don't, right, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, if I don't take care of myself, then I'm not going to be able to show up. Where is that time on my calendar? Where is it? And that has to be repetitive, daily, morning, evening. The next thing is family. And it could be friends, it could be siblings, it could be spouse, children, parents, whatever. Where is that time? Where is that time? And then lastly is business. But here it's very clear. Like, what do I need to work on this week? That if I work on this one thing, everything else will become easier. And so usually in my real estate business, it's, well, I know that I need to communicate more. I know that I need to connect more with my number one source of business. And that's our past clients for us, right? For you, it could be different. It could be social. It could be online leads, which, by the way, are our second and third. Mailers, expireds. What does that look like for you? Where does most of your business come from? And so now you're looking and saying, got it, I know, past clients, great. Now, what am I going to do daily? At what time am I going to set this? Because this is a priority. If I know that most of my business comes from past clients, well, that means I'm going to test it out for my slot for prospecting or focusing on my priorities for business. I'm going to have one in the morning, 9 to 10, 9 to 10:30. I'm going to have one in the middle of the day, probably 1 to 2, 1 to 2:30. And I'm going to have one in the late afternoon or evening if I'm not showing property or going to some presentation. And that's going to go from 4 to 6, 4 to 7 in some cases. And that would be, for me, 5 to 6 days a week. And so that's how I prioritize. I identify what I need to focus on based on my priorities and based on where I'm getting my business from, and I dig deeper. And then the other piece that I add is, well, what do I want to add that I know that I need to work on because I'm always changing and evolving? Where does that go? Because I know I'm going to be terrible at it if I test it out the first time. Let's say it's social media. Now I'm adding Instagram. Let's say I'm adding Instagram for the first time next week. And I say, well, where do I start? Well, I probably need to do some research because I've never been on Instagram or something like that. And then say, okay, research goes at this time at 4 p.m. And then let's do research for 3 days, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Then I think I'll do enough research and I'll find the accounts that I love. And Thursday and Friday are going to be days that I do at 4 p.m. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to test this out. I'm going to shoot a video and post it out, or I'm going to just edit a video, or I'm just going to shoot a video, but I'm not going to post it up because I'm kind of a little bit scared, right? Or maybe it's just a graphic, or maybe it's just a picture. The point is you're progressing with something that's new. And if you don't add what you want to learn, it's not going to go anywhere. So now that, in essence, is what I want. I want you to have your priorities in place. For me, I have 3 priorities daily. I have one that I need to do. And the other 2 are things that I know I need to do. I hope to get to them. I have them in my calendar. And in some cases I don't, but I push those over to the next day. Those are priorities. So if you have questions on this, I could go on forever. In fact, I think our course for this, for our coaching clients, comes out for free next month, I believe. But there are other sessions I've done on here that can outline this in detail as well. Hopefully, this gets you going in the right direction, gets you thinking where you need to be thinking. Have an awesome day. We'll talk tomorrow.